guys.
Wait, we're doing this together or what?
We'll do one together, and then the rest of them I want you guys to do. Okay?
I thought we were doing it group already.
Well, follow along up here, and then I'll come right back.
I thought you had the thing like in my
I know you're probably a little confused, Tatiana. Step was?
You do square root of plus, right? And then 2 times 2.
We're not going to add it.
Oh, don't we gotta put like a negative or something?
Well, you're right. There are two answers
multiply
for
them.
every perfect square. Yeah, we have to multiply them.
Oh.
I like what you're saying. There are two answers, a positive and a negative, but we're only going to work with the positive right now.
Yeah.
Okay? But Brian said you have to multiply them, right? So if we want to multiply them, how are we going to write it, Brian?
So 12.
Well, then we get back to where we started.
Oh,
3
then
times 2 times 2.
Oh, square root.
yeah,
Square root of
thing.
3. And 4. Times 4. Square root of 4.
4. Right? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah. And then we change the
What's that? Yeah, you can call it a radical or a square root. Okay? Radical 2 is what we use when we're only dealing with the square root. We just sometimes call it radical. All right? It's a little sloppy to say that, but you can call it the radical or the square root. So the square root of 4, can we simplify that to anything?
2.
Okay, so 2. What about the square root of 3? Can we simplify that to anything?
No.
No, right? It just stays. So it's radical 3 times 2. Or, what we really like to do, try to get in this habit, put the number...
3 times 6.
No, wait, 2 radical 3.
Right, we want the number that doesn't have a radical or a square root with it to go in the front. So we want to write it as 2 times the square root of 3 instead. Okay? Does everyone see how we got that? Everybody write that down, because you need to write that down so that you can use this as an example to do B through F.
Wait, you should keep that up.
Yeah, I'll leave it up here. All right, but you also need to write it down. Okay? You also need to write it down. So please go through and do B through F. All right, and then we'll have a little activity to do when you're done with B through F.
We can list the factors.
Yes, that's a good strategy, guys. So Leia just said list your factors. So take the number under the square root. Let's try that. Okay?
It's correct.
It ain't correct. We're only trying to do one. This is the first time.
Hello, camera.
Oh, I do have one more strategy for you.
Oh, my God.
Everybody has a calculator, right? Calculators? Take your calculators out and follow along up here. I have another little strategy for you. Everybody see this?
Yes.
Let's say you're doing 500, okay? Letter E. How many of you know all the factors of 500? Every single factor. Right, I don't either. I don't either. So what you do is you go to your y equals and clear out whatever's there. Right?
And you type
So
in.
can you do that? Go to your y equals and clear out whatever's there. And then you're going to type in whatever number's underneath the square root. So what's the number under there for us?
500.
500. So type that in. And then you're going to divide it by x. Okay? Divided by x. And then you're going to go second graph to your table. Alright? And if your x values are really high or really low, you're just going to have to scroll down for a minute to get it right around 0. But you want your x values to start right around 0. Okay?
Why are they zeros and it say error?
It says error because look back at your formula.
Wait.
Where's your x?
Oh,
What are you doing with the x?
So it's
Dividing it.
Dividing. Can you divide by 0? No, so that's why it says error. What's that? What's up? Stomach hurts? You okay? You make it through the period? You need some water or something? Go get a drink? Alright. So that's why that's 0 because, or that's why you get an error because you can't divide by 0. Right? So when you're at your table, alright, everybody got this table? When you're at your table, scroll down. Remember, this is what you're dividing by, right? Your x. So what's 500 divided by 1?
500.
Is that what you have over on the other side?
Yeah. Mister, mine at the bottom where it says x equals 3, mine don't say that.
Because you're not on thing. He scrolled down.
Oh,
to
well, you have, what you have.
Is your cursor over 3?
Because he's on 1.66. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. You must just not have been hovering over 3 like I was. Maybe you were hovering over something else like 2 or 0.
It's mine said
Figured out?
she
So what's 500 divided by 2?
Oh my god.
250.
Because it's right in the table right there, right?
Yeah.
So if your number in the y column comes up even, like 250, that means these two numbers are factors of 500. If it doesn't come out even, look at 3. We don't get an even number, do we?
No.
That means 3 is not an even factor of 500 because you don't get an even number back. Okay? So what you want to do is just scroll down your table and look until you find a number that's a perfect square that goes in even. Okay?
250 is even though.
250 is even. Is 250 a perfect square?
No.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Because you can do 125 and 125.
But that's only 2 sides.
That's adding.
Right. What did you say?
That's
Sperm?
adding. You have to
That's adding. You have to multiply that. Alright?
So what
But
do you want to
do
do?
you see a big perfect square here?
10 and 50?
100.
Oh, that's not right either.
100.
Remember, list our perfect squares. What are they?
100.
100. And what's 100? What is a perfect square?
10, 10.
5x.
10 times 10.
10 times 10.
Oh, yeah.
So if we have 100 here and it goes into 500, how many times?
5.
10?
2 times.
No.
Look right on your graph.
If we got you said we got
5. The
500.
factors are 100 times.
1.
Just 10.
See, 100's over here on this side, guys.
Yeah. 5.
100 times 5.
5.
Right? So what we can do is we can break 500 up into what two factors?
Thanks.
5 and 100.
What?
Right?
I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to be
Okay? Can you guys take that the rest of the way? And do it like this one? And break it up and find your perfect square and go through that? Alright? So go through those. Alright? If you have one that you don't know any perfect square factors, alright? You don't know any perfect square factors, then put it in your calculator with the x on the bottom, just like we did here. I'll leave this up like this so you can see. Okay? Work on that for about the next 10 minutes. Alright? I'm going to throw a timer up. 10 minutes.
5 minutes.
What's that? 5 minutes?
Bro, you no.
No, we're going to do 10 minutes, and then we're going to do the activity for the last 25.
You're crazy, bro.
Okay? So let me get a timer up here, and then I'll come around and see what everybody needs for help.
That composition group.
Okay. Timer's up on the board.
What if we do the list of that and there's more than one perfect square?
If there's more than one perfect square, what do you guys think you're going to want to do? Which one would you choose?
Oh, never mind. It's not. It's only one.
There's only one. But if there is more than one, which one do you think you want to choose?
It looks right.
If you choose
The
the
one
lowest
that
one,
can go between.
if you choose the lowest one, well, choose whichever one and see what happens, and then we'll come back and do that, all right? See what happens. See if you can work your way through it, choosing whichever one you think is best, and then we'll talk about it after. Okay? So if there's two, choose which one you think is best and see what you get, and then we'll talk.
Yes.
I know you were. Okay, so now I'll do some of this, okay?
I don't get how you did 5 times 100. Because I thought it was supposed to be like something times.
Right, that's if it's a perfect square, right? So if you have something like, what's a perfect square? Can you name one? What do you mean our list? Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 is a perfect square, right? And that's when it has to be something times something, okay? But if we're not actually taking the square root, we're just splitting 500 up into its factors. Do you agree that 105 is factors?
Yeah.
How you doing? We are on the previous page.
Are we doing all of them?
Yes, do as many as you can in the next 10 minutes, and we'll go over them, okay? As many as you can.
Wait,
in the next
mister,
10
can you
minutes.
put the other one up?
Yes, I can put the other one up. There's 8 minutes left on the timer. I'm gonna take the timer away for a minute, and I'll put it back up when we get less time. All right, Cecil, this is the example for radical 12, okay?
Yeah.
So write this down and fill it in, and see if you can use that as a model. for your
Not
rest.
me.
Okay? I did. I know, you weren't here yesterday, so we're just gonna try to. Huh?
Gabe can't write. He's
He can't
crippled.
write.
He uses his left hand. He's becoming very good at it.
Well,
It started a little rough, but he's becoming better. Okay, so.
Gabe about to be crippled.
I'm not. It's not very nice.
I told you I'm not changing for the camera, mister.
It's not your perfect square.
You said do
You
have
done already?
everything, so.
I'll come over and check in a second, okay?
Everybody.
Can you try to do, can you think about how you might do number 13?
I need.
You don't have numbers anymore, now you have X.
Wait
See if you
for
can figure out how to do this, all right?
Which one you want?
Brainstorm. And I'll be around in a second.
C.